Hello there you guys, welcome to another one of my live videos. Today I'm just going to be officially updating you current latest news. So as I did currently say earlier on, I was going to be doing my Manchester United versus PSG preview for the Champions League tomorrow night, 8 o'clock kickoff, and this is currently on this current video now. So going into the game, you know, we had a fantastic run of form so far under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and we know this game is going to be huge for Manchester United on Tuesday, considering that it's the last 16 of the Champions game, as I currently said. Obviously, early on in the season, when Manchester United, of course, were playing in the group stages, obviously we did finish second in the group stage. We just finished behind Juventus in the group stage. We did score 7 goals. Dramatically, you know, believe it or not, you know, 6 of them goals, you know, came away from home because we only scored 1 goal in 3 group stage games at home in the Champions League, you know, in the group stage, you know, earlier on in the season. The best victory in the group stage was obviously, you know, Juventus away from home, you know, when we did win 2-1, you know, we had 2 late goals in that. But we did finish second in the group. PSG, obviously, you know, won their group. You know, they finished top, did PSG. They scored 17 goals in their group, did Paris Saint-Germain, as we all currently know. And obviously, was it last season, I think Manchester United had actually got knocked out by Sevilla. I think it was Sevilla last season would be knocked out by. But no, this is going to be a difficult game for Manchester United, as I said. Obviously, Solskjaer is obviously going to be rotating the squad for this game, because against Fulham at the weekend, Solskjaer had obviously, you know, made 6 changes in that game. You know, obviously he made alterations in the back line. You know, he included Smalling and Jones and Diego Dalot and that. So he did make 6 changes against Fulham, and it was a very good performance against Fulham. You know, Pogba getting 2 goals. You know, Martial, you know, getting his name on the score sheet as well, and also getting an assist, Anthony Martial, and they were very, very influential in that game. Pogba, I think, is playing really, really well. He's getting the freedom to express himself. The timing of his runs are really, really good. His breaks box to box are looking very, very good, and he's in scintillating form. Is Paul Pogba as well. Martial's looking very, very influential on that left hand side as well as Anthony Martial. And Martial, you know, is playing really, really well, as I said, on that left hand side. Rashford should be in contention, you know, to play tomorrow night as well, because obviously Rashford, you know, did miss the Fulham game. Lindelof as well, you know, missed the Fulham game. Lingard as well missed the Fulham game as well. So I think these players should be all coming back into contention. I probably think Solskjaer will be going with his strongest 11. I do like Bailly and Lindelof, you know, as a centre-back partnership, because I do think they're on another level, you know, to Phil Jones and Chris Smalling, as we all know. I still think Marcus Rojo does remain absent, even though it has confirmed, you know, that he has returned back to training, Marcus Rojo, as I currently said. But currently I'm going into the game, as I currently said, you know, we've got some massive, you know, good news, you know, going into this game, because from a PSG perspective, obviously we know they are sitting at the top of Liga 1, Paris Saint-Germain. I think this season, out of 22 games in Liga 1, they've won 19, they've drawn 2, they've lost 1, but they have scored 8 goals and only conceded 13 of Paris Saint-Germain. But obviously we've got some good news going into this game, because PSG have got some injury concerns I've already updated you on. Obviously Neymar is obviously a long-term absence. Obviously the most expensive, you know, player in world football, because PSG invested around 200 odd million pounds on him. I think he's out for up to 10 weeks with, is it a foot injury or something like that. But news has been coming out of the media as well. You know, the current PSG boss, Thomas Tuchel, obviously he's worried that Edinson Cavani, you know, could miss the game tomorrow night. It's looking likely now he's going to miss the game, is Edinson Cavani, so he's a major doubt for the game, because PSG's game with Bordeaux at the weekend, as I've already updated you, he limped off with an injury, did Edinson Cavani. I think it was a thigh injury he suffered or something like that. PSG did win the game 1-0, but Edinson Cavani, you know, had to come off in the game, so he's a doubt for the game as well. As I think it's been confirmed he's going to be missing out. So to Thomas Meunier, he's another problem as well for PSG, because he suffered a head injury in the game as well. I think he collided heads with another player, did Thomas Meunier, so reportedly he's going to be a doubt as well for the game. Also to who else than Thomas Meunier, Verratti. Well, I think he's just recently recovered from injury, Marco Verratti. I do really like Marco Verratti. I think he's a really good midfielder, but he just recently recovered from an ankle injury, but it's still uncertain whether he's going to feature in the game or not. So, you know, we've got the upper hand, you know, because obviously Paris Saint-Germain have obviously, you know, got injuries, as I currently said. But obviously PSG, obviously in the January transfer window, obviously wanted to get Idrissa Gueye into their squad, as we all currently know, because they wanted to get Idrissa Gueye from Everton. Idrissa Gueye reportedly, put a transfer request in. Did Idrissa Gueye, because I do think that he did want to leave Everton. Reportedly, I think PSG put around 2 bids in. Everton had turned both of these bids down, so PSG did fail with that. But PSG in the January transfer window did confirm the signing of Leandro Paredes. I think he has been playing for Paris Saint-Germain as Leandro Paredes. Obviously they got him from Zenit St. Petersburg. I think PSG agreed a fee of around 35, 36 million pounds, for Leandro Paredes. So they did confirm the signing of him. Also, too, they inquired about, getting Mesut Ozil from Arsenal on deadline day, because reportedly PSG, considered about getting him on loan, and I think they had agreed, to pay his wages that he's currently receiving, which is around £350,000 a week at Arsenal. Obviously, he's Arsenal's highest paid player. PSG inquired about getting him on loan, but from Mesut Ozil's perspective, he, turned this down, and he still, basically, he still wants to remain at Arsenal, even though he's enjoying a difficult season with Arsenal. He's enjoying a difficult season. He's not adapting himself under Mbappe. He's had a few injury problems as well, and he's not getting the game time he would like us. So he could actually, leave Arsenal in the summer, for Arsenal, to raise some funds and, save millions, because, they've got financial, financial restraints, because they were only required, to only making loan signings, in the January window, and obviously they've got restrictions on their wage bill as well. So in their wage structure, Arsenal have currently got problems, but they have got players on big contracts, as I've already explained to you. But in relation to Adrien Rabiot as well, I think Adrien Rabiot is very, very young. He's 23 years of age. Reportedly, a few teams may, go for Adrien Rabiot in the summer, because I do think Adrien Rabiot is going to leave Paris Saint-Germain in the summer. He hasn't played for a long time. I think he's actually been withdrawn from the squad at Paris Saint-Germain as Adrien Rabiot, because obviously he's not agreeing a new contract with Paris Saint-Germain. He's set to leave Paris Saint-Germain in the summer, when his contract comes to an end, Adrien Rabiot. But he has been at PSG the majority of his career. He got in the senior squad in 2012. He's won 16 major honours there as Adrien Rabiot. I think it allegedly said back in January that he'd agreed, to join Barcelona in the summer. But reportedly now Barcelona have dropped their interest, because Barcelona have got quite a few, midfielders in their team, as I've already explained. And obviously they've got Frenkie de Jong. He's not going to be officially playing for Barcelona until next season, so it was a year in advance. But Barcelona agreed a £65 million fee with Ajax, so Barcelona have obviously got Frenkie de Jong, but he's not going to be officially playing for Barcelona until the new season. But Adrien Rabiot has been an Arsenal target. I think Manchester United have made inquiries. I think a few teams have expressed their interest in Adrien Rabiot, to be quite honest. But PSG, have still got a good team. They've invested a lot of money in the past couple of seasons. Mbappe is a really, really good player. The question is who's better, Marcus Rashford or Kylian Mbappe. So it's going to be interesting to see how Mbappe performs. It's going to be interesting to see how Rashford performs, because they are two, good, young, talented players. Mbappe's got pace, can score goals. Rashford's got pace, who can press out the pitch, who can score goals as well. And they are both very, very young as well, these two players, as I said. But as I did say, Solskjaer will rotate the squad in this game, as I said. But Solskjaer, he's brought the confidence back to the team. He's motivated the team. He doesn't rest on his laurels. He does show that inspiration in the team, as I said. And you can see we're creating more chances, we're scoring more goals. He's got the teams. I think the players, I think he's rejuvenated, the team as well as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He's brought the belief back to the team, the fear factor back to the team, and I should now think he'll get the job on a full-time basis at Manchester United, as I currently said. Reports saying that Man United are going to get around £200 million to spend in the summer. Solskjaer's obviously going to have a big say in that, because obviously Man United obviously still looking to hire a director of football to come in. We didn't get any signings in the January window, and I do expect, some experienced players, to leave Manchester United in the summer. So obviously we'll want to think about, adequate replacements. As I currently said, but this is a big, big game, as I said. The next 3 games are big, because we've got Paris Saint-Germain in the Champions League tomorrow. Then it's, Chelsea in the FA Cup. And then it's Liverpool. So they are 3 big games, as we all currently know. But so far, so good under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. 11 games unbeaten. We've won 10 out of 11. We've won 6 on the road. 5 in the league, 1 in the FA Cup. 28 goals scored. We've won 8 games in the Premier League, as I currently said. So he's done an absolutely fantastic job, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, since he's come in at Manchester United. He's done a really, really fantastic job. Obviously, Manchester United, of course, are in the top 4 now for the first time since the start of the season, as we all know, because obviously when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer came in, Manchester United were 11 points behind top 4. So I've praised him. He's done a fantastic job. Ed Woodward's Premier you know, for the, you know, the job he's done so far at Manchester United. And I think he suits the strappings of the club, he suits the culture of the club, and he knows everything about Manchester United. And he suits the strappings of the club. His managerial style suits the club, because when you you know, Solskjaer knows everything about Manchester United. Because he was what? Yeah. All right, Dad. Because he was, sorry about that, because he was a great player for 11 years under Alex Ferguson, was Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Great player, won trophies, scored loads and loads of goals, and even when he managed the Manchester United reserve team, you know, he won silverware as well. You know, he watched some of these players, you know, grow and develop, did Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So, but as reports have been coming out, as I updated you earlier on today, that reportedly Solskjaer will get the job on a full-time basis at Manchester United. That's been reported from the Sun today, that Solskjaer will get the job on a full-time basis at Manchester United. It has been revealed that the board have currently made a decision on this to hire Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to get the job on a full-time basis at Manchester United. Obviously, Manchester United are going to have to pay an additional fee, you know, to get Solskjaer on a full-time basis, because obviously, as it stands, we've already paid around 1.8 million to Mould, you know, to get him, you know, on a temporary basis, as we all know. So we have paid 1.8 million fee to borrow him and to get him on a temporary basis, as I currently said. But if we want to, you know, hire him permanently, then obviously Manchester United will have to pay around 7.5 million pounds to Mould, you know, to get, you know, Solskjaer, you know, for Solskjaer to get the job on a full-time basis. But reports have been coming out today saying that the board have made a decision. It's been revealed that Solskjaer will get the job on a full-time basis at Manchester United. But this, I don't think this will be officially announced until the end of the season, of course, as well. But you can see he's brought the fluidity to the team, the confidence to the team, and you can see we've got defenders that are willing to play from the back. You know, good ball-playing midfielders in Herrera, Matic, and Pogba. You know, you can see it, like, you know, Pogba's getting the freedom to express himself. You know, the front men are getting the freedom, you know, to interchange closer together as well. You know, which is very good to see. As I couldn't say, you see in the likes of Martial and Rashford and Lingard, you can see they've got the ability to attack, you know, play balls, you know, create, score goals, you know, which is very good to see. As I said, but there's a few statistics, you know, going into this Manchester United, you know, PSG game, as I currently said, because I'm just going to read some statistics out now. It does say here this will be the first competitive encounter between Manchester United and PSG. 4 of their last 5 two-legged encounters between teams from England and France. This is just some statistics. In the Champions League knockout phase, have seen the French side progress. No French team has ever beaten Manchester United away from home in European competition. Drawn 4, lost 10. In the Champions League, only 2 French sides have avoided a defeat at Old Trafford. Monaco in March 1998, 1-1. Lille in October 2005, 0-0. PSG have only won 1 of their 10 away games in all competitions against English opposition. Drawn 4, lost 5. It was a 2-1 victory against Chelsea in March 2016 in the round of 16. The last time they progressed through a knockout round of the Champions League, Manchester United have won only 1 of their last 9 Champions League knockout games. Drawn 3, lost 5. It was against Olympiacos in March 2014, 3-0. Paris Saint-Germain have reached the Champions League knockout stages for a 7th consecutive season, the longest current run after Real Madrid 22, Barcelona 15, and Bayern Munich dropping out of the round of 16 in each of the last two. This is just some statistics. Last 2 campaigns, PSG have scored more goals than any other team in the Champions League group stages this season. As I already updated you at the beginning of the video, they have scored 17 because they topped the group. In 6 games, 57% of Manchester United's goals in the Champions League this season have been scored after the 85th minute. 4 out of 7. Manchester United's Old Trafford Stadium witnessed the fewest goals in this season's Champions League group stages. 2 in 3 games after scoring 3 goals in his first 2 Champions League games last season. Manchester United striker Romelu Lukaku has only found the net twice in his subsequent 11 appearances in the competition. He has had 2 shots on target in 365 minutes this season. 69% of PSG forward Kylian Mbappe's Champions League goals have come away from home. 9 out of 13. That's the highest ratio in the competition for players with more than 10 goals in the competition. If he plays, this will be Marco Verratti's 50th Champions League appearance. The Paris Saint-Germain midfielder has as many goals free as red cards free in the competition. I'm on the 16 managers left in this season Champions League. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is one of 3 to have won it as a player with Man United in 1999, alongside Pep Guardiola with Barcelona in 92 and Santiago Solari with Real Madrid in 2002. So there's some statistics, to give you an update on them, as I said. So it's like saying if Verratti, plays in this game, it's going to be his 50th appearance in the Champions League, as it did currently say. So there's quite a lot of statistics, there to give you an update on. But in my opinion, I do think, Manchester United will win, to be quite honest, because we are in a good run of form. And now, obviously, based on this fantastic run of form, with Solskjaer's progression so far, since he's come in, he is now definitely favoured, to get the job on a full-time basis. Because as I just said, reports have been coming out today saying that Solskjaer will get the job on a full-time basis. As obviously the board have already confirmed he'll get the job on a full-time basis. Probably won't be announced officially until the end of the season, of course. But obviously, we're going to have to pay an additional, probably pay around 7.2 million in additional fees, to get him on a full-time basis. As I currently said, but he suits the happens at the club. He's brought the fluidity back to the team, and obviously since Solskjaer's come in, we've scored 28 goals, and obviously this game against PSG is obviously going to be his 12th game, as we all could know. But I've been impressed, with all the team, basically, obviously Martial and Rashford have been in good form. Pogba's been in absolutely fantastic form as well. I hope Lindelof does play in this game. I think Lindelof will play in this game, but I think it should be Bailly and Lindelof as a centre-back partnership. We all know that Darmian's out with an injury, and we know that Matteo Darmian's out for a couple of weeks with an injury. So too, Antonio Valencia is out for a couple of weeks, with an injury as well. Is Antonio Valencia, as that's been officially confirmed as well. But I think Solskjaer will rotate, and he'll go with his strongest starting 11. As he currently said. But some people, are now saying, basically Romelu Lukaku's finished at Manchester United. Some people believe he's finished. In relation to Romelu Lukaku, obviously what Rashford can offer up front, Lukaku can't do, because Lukaku's slow. He doesn't have any pace about his game. His first touch does concern me. Does Romelu Lukaku. We know that's why mainly Rashford's been first choice over him. Martial's been first choice over Sanchez and all that. And mainly Martial and Rashford have been the first choice. But Lukaku has scored goals. He's proven in the Premier League, because he has scored a lot of goals in the Premier League as Lukaku, and I think his form has been slightly rejuvenated, since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has come in. But yes, he has been actually, linked with a move to Juventus as Romelu Lukaku. But to be quite honest with you, maybe I do see, Lukaku may leave in the summer, as I currently said. But he is slow. But when you've got the likes of Rashford that's got pace, who can press out the pitch, you've got Lingard who's got pace, who can press out the pitch and cause problems. So too Martial. Lukaku is not capable of this, because he doesn't have any pace, as I said. And in relation to Sanchez, Sanchez has enjoyed a very, very difficult time, since he's come to Manchester United. He's been here over a year, of course, and obviously we want to hope the best out of him, because he's on over £500,000 a week. He's obviously our highest paid player. To be fair, he has suffered a couple of injuries, as Sanchez, since he has come to Manchester United. I think he's lost a yard of pace. There's definitely areas of his game he does need to adapt, and maybe somewhere along the line, if he does get more chances, his form can be rejuvenated, under the management of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. But he has failed, to impress, since he has come in, Alexis Sanchez. But we know mainly, obviously, Martial anyway has been first choice over him, as I currently said. But I've been impressed with the majority of the squad, since Solskjaer's come in. I've been really, really impressed with Herrera. I think he's playing a big part in the team, is Ander Herrera. And Ander Herrera, I think he's been consistent since we got him under Louis van Gaal here in 2014, was it? Something like that. So he's been here a good 4.5 years now. But especially, since Solskjaer's come in, since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's coming, I think he's playing more regular in the team. He's playing a bigger part in the team. And I think he complements our midfield very, very well alongside Matic and, Pogba and all that. And I think he's really, really good at breaking up the play. He's under Herrera. And I think he, dictates the play well as well. So I do really, really like him. And I hope that we do, get under Herrera a new contract at Manchester United, because he deserves it, based on his fantastic performances. And in relation to Rashford, he's been really, really good, as I do keep saying. He's our number 9. And hopefully somewhere along the line, we can get Marcus Rashford a new long-term deal at Manchester United. His current deal does end in 2020 with an option of a further year, and obviously we're willing to more than double his wages if we can get him to a new long-term deal. Manchester United, of course, have been in negotiations of getting him a new long-term deal, but he's been in United playing since the age of 7. He's progressing up the ranks very, very well. He's been in the senior squad with Manchester United since 2016, and he's turned out to be an absolutely fantastic player. I've always liked him, but his form's been rejuvenated even more since Solskjaer's coming. He's scoring more goals. goals, his finishing's improving. So everything about, Marcus Rashford is improving, as I said, which is good to see. I've also been impressed with Matic in that midfield, even though I did say he's slow. I have strong reservations about him, but again, since Solskjaer's come in, his form's been rejuvenated. He's galloping forward more, he's getting more involved, his distribution's improving, his Nemanja Matic's, and he sees the 15-20 yard run ahead of him instead of behind him, because, he was very, very poor under Jose Mourinho, but I think since Solskjaer's come in, Matic has really, really improved, and I've been very, very impressed with him. But the majority of the team, has improved, as I currently said. But hopefully, somewhere along the line, we can get, De Gea a new long-term contract at Manchester United as well. I hope we can get De Gea a new long-term deal at Manchester United as well. Reports have been coming out in the last couple of days, to give you an update on that. Reportedly, De Gea is demanding that he wants around £350,000 a week if he is to commit to a new long-term deal. At the moment, Manchester United, of course, have been in talks. There has been breakthrough in negotiations, but reportedly Manchester United are not willing, to meet what, in terms of wages of what currently David De Gea is demanding. But I think Man United is still hopeful and confident that we can get him to a new long-term deal. As I said, I think he's set to sign a new 5-year deal worth just under £400,000 a week. So potentially this will make him the highest paid goalkeeper in world football. And overall, I think it will make him like the 9th highest best paid player, David De Gea. But he's been one of the longest servants here at Manchester United. Of course, he has been here, since 2011. Of course, he's won everything here. He's made over 300 odd appearances. He's won the club's Player of the Year 4 out of 5 seasons, as I said. He's won the St. Buzzard Player of the Year quite a few times, and he's an absolutely fantastic goalkeeper, as I said. And obviously, last year Manchester United activated 12-month extension on his current contract, as that has confirmed. But he's committing his long-term future in Manchester United, and of course, he's happy here. He's David De Gea. So hopefully somewhere along the line we can get him a new long-term deal. But as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was saying, he said contract negotiations were progressing, as he did currently confirm, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. But Solskjaer's been coming out in the media, and he still basically thinks, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, that it could take us, a couple of years, to catch up with Manchester City. It could take us a couple of years, to be potentially title contenders, as I said. But if we can get some new additions into the squad in the summer, we get a new central defender in alongside Lindelof or Bailly. We get someone on that right-hand side, because I do think we need to address that right-hand side, as I said. A centre defensive midfielder maybe that's fast and tenacious, because as I do keep saying, the majority of our attack, is coming from the left through Luke Shaw, Pogba, Martial and all that. Yeah, so we do need a couple of signs, because I do expect 3 or 4 experienced players, to leave Manchester United in the summer, of course, as well. In relation, to Ashley Young as well, reports have been coming out about that in the last couple of days as well, in relation to Ashley Young. Reportedly, it did say Man United were closer to agreeing him a 1-year extension on his contract, because obviously Manchester United are only willing to offer him a 1-year contract extension, considering that he is age 33, so we're not going to be obviously willing to offer him a long-term deal. Ashley Young's been a long servant at Manchester United. He's been here since 2011. Obviously, he's played the majority of the games this season as Ashley Young, because obviously he's our first choice right back. Obviously, when he was younger, he was mainly right winger was Ashley Young, but most recently, we operate Ashley Young mainly as a right back. As I said, I think he's set to sign a new 1-year deal worth around £110,000 a week. Is Ashley Young, as I said, but he's 33 years of age now. Ashley Young, he's aging up. Don't forget, is Ashley Young, as I currently said. But over the years, he's been a very, very good servant, for Manchester United. As Ashley Young, as I currently said, and in relation, to Antonio Valencia, I do think we have the option, to extend his current deal, by further year. Antonio Valencia, he's 33 now, but obviously he's injured for a couple of weeks now. He's had a few injury problems this season, as of course he's hardly featured in the Premier League, this season. Antonio Valencia, as we all currently know, he's hardly featured in the Premier League this season. Obviously, he's been one of the longest servants here as well. He's been here 10 years. He has been here since 2009. As Antonio Valencia. As we all know, made over 300 appearances. Of course, won everything here, just like Ashley Young has in English football, just like De Gea has, just like Phil Jones has as well. I think he's won everything here as well, just like Chris Smalling has as well. He's been a long servant at Manchester United. Chris Smalling as well. He just recently, recovered from an injury as well. Chris Smalling. But yeah, in relation to Antonio Valencia, there was speculation, of course, throughout the January transfer window, that Fulham and Newcastle were interested in him, but he could actually leave Manchester United in the summer. Could Antonio Valencia, as I said, and. I'm adamant that Matteo Darmian, you know, could leave in the summer as well, as I do keep saying, because he's found game time very, very difficult, you know, since he's come to Manchester United, you know, Matteo Darmian as well. He's found game time, you know, very, very hard to come by as well. And obviously, did say Juventus and Inter Milan were interesting back in January, as I said. But obviously, he's had a lot of experience of playing, you know, in Italy, you know, when he was a lot younger in his prime, you know, he spent the majority of his playing career in Italy, did Matteo Darmian as well. So I do expect, you know, players to leave in the summer, and I am hopeful, you know, that we can, you know, get a few signings to come into the club in the summer. Reportedly, we're going to get around £200 million to spend in the summer, as it has confirmed. Obviously, now as the reports have been coming out of the presser today, reporting saying that basically Solskjaer will get the job. Solskjaer will be named Manchester United manager on a full-time basis. Reportedly, it probably won't be officially announced until the end of the season, as that has confirmed. But as reports are saying, it's in the Sun. The Sun actually, I think, were the first to report on it, saying that it's been revealed that the board have made a decision, you know, to hire Solskjaer, you know, to get the job on a full-time basis at Manchester United at the end of the season. And obviously, Manchester United are going to have to pay, you know, a fee to mould, you know, to make you know, so Solskjaer can get the job permanently. We've got him temporary at the moment, and obviously we've paid 1.8 million, you know, to mould, you know, to get him on a temporary basis. As I said, but he deserves it. You know, his progression's been very, very good, and I think the Manchester United board believe, you know, that he can elevate us to that higher level. He can get us in that commanding position where we want to be, and obviously we're in the top four now, as I said, and obviously that's our objective this season, to get in that top four. Obviously get Champions League for next season, and we can still progress in the FA Cup as well. As I could have said, we know Chelsea's obviously not going to be an easy game, as I said, but if we can get past Chelsea, I'm confident, you know, that we Manchester United, you know, can win the FA Cup. As I currently said, but it's been a great start under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, as I said. But, you know, the players, you know, that obviously, you know, Manchester United, of course, have been linked to, as we all know. We know that, you know, the players that we have been linked with, you know, that I have been hearing in the past couple of days, you know, as I have been keeping you up to date on that, is in relation, you know, to Douglas Costa, because as I do keep updating, you know, it has been going on in the press in the last couple of days that reportedly Manchester United may consider making a move for Douglas Costa in the summer, because obviously Douglas Costa this season has obviously enjoyed a difficult season, obviously since the arrival of Ronaldo last summer. As I currently said, you know, Douglas Costa, you know, has found game time very, very difficult, you know, for Juventus. Obviously, Juventus had him on loan, you know, for 1 year, and then obviously last summer, Juventus, you know, made the deal permanent by paying around £36 million for him, and obviously Juventus, of course, you know, got him from Bayern Munich. But reports have been stemming out of the press saying that reportedly Douglas Costa has liked to tweet, you know, linking him with a summer move to Old Trafford. Reportedly, it's also said that Chelsea have also been interested in Douglas Costa as well. But Douglas Costa, his ability to attack's very, very good. He can score goals. He can provide. He can put crosses into the box as well. He's highly experienced. He's 28 years of age. He's Douglas Costa. But last year, reports were actually, you know, coming out from the media saying that reportedly Manchester United allegedly, I think, put a £54 million bid in for him. It did say reportedly that Juventus had turned this £54 million bid down for Douglas Costa. But I do really, really like him. I think he's been a very, 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 very influential player, you know, throughout his playing career. I think he's played, you know, very, very well as Douglas Costa. He had 5 good years when he was at Shakhtar Donetsk. He won trophies there. He had a good couple of years with Munich as well. He won trophies there, scored goals as well. And he's done very, very well at Juventus. This season, he has found it very, very difficult, of course. But there has been reports coming out about it, in the press about that in the last couple of days. You know, I have been hearing as well. But there's other key targets, you know, we've been interested in as well. I know that we've heard about, you know, Ryan Sessegnon. His name has been mentioned in the past couple of days as well. We know Ryan Sessegnon's name has been mentioned. 18 years of age, as I said, very, very young in his prime. And I think, was it a couple of years ago that Manchester United obviously, you know, were linked with Ryan Sessegnon, as I was hearing about that. He's 18 years of age. I think the recent team to be actually linked, the latest team to be linked with Ryan Sessegnon, I think was Tottenham last summer, if I'm right. But Ryan Sessegnon's a good 18-year-old player. He's versatile. He can play anywhere on the left-hand side. He can play as a left-back. He can play as a left winger as well, so he can play anywhere on the left-hand side, can Ryan Sessegnon. Since Claudio Ranieri's been appointed, you know, Fulham manager, you know, you know, Ryan Sessegnon has found game time very, very hard. He's struggled, you know, to hit form this season, you know, under Claudio Ranieri, because he hasn't really had the opportunity, to be quite honest here. But I thought he was fantastic in the Championship, you know, last season for Fulham, and he was one of their key players, you know, that got Fulham promotion to the Premier League, you know, for this season, as I said. But reports have been coming out of the media saying that Man United maybe want to bring Ryan Sessegnon to Old Trafford in the summer. It did say reportedly Man United are preparing to put around a £50 million bid in to get Ryan Sessegnon in the summer, reportedly. And he may be a player that wants to elevate to that higher level. He wants to play for a much, much bigger club, because obviously Fulham are struggling this season, and, you know, it's likely that they will go down, because obviously they're sitting 19th. They've got one of the worst defensive records in the Premier League, as well as Fulham. But as I did say, you know, there's been news about that going on. Obviously, Ryan Sessegnon, well, Fulham have been in, you know, talks of getting him a new contract with Fulham. Fulham have been in talks of getting him a new contract. Reportedly, contract talks have stalled, and he's currently got 18 months left on his current deal as Ryan Sessegnon. But he's a good player, he's Ryan Sessegnon. He's very, very young. He's 18 years of age. Obviously, he's been at Fulham all his career. You know, he was up their youth system, you know, for 8 years. He was in their youth system for 8 years. You know, graduated, you know, to the senior team. You know, and he's been in the senior squad, you know, since 2016 as Ryan Sessegnon. And obviously, you know, he won the Championship Player of the Year, you know, award last season, as well, you know, based on his fantastic performances in the Championship, you know, for Fulham as well. But yeah, he's a very good player, Ryan Sessegnon. So reports are saying that Man United, you know, could go for him in the summer as well, reportedly. But we know there's been other players, you know, mentioned in the media as well. As we all know, we know that Felix, that Benfica right winger, has been mentioned. He did say throughout the January transfer window that Manchester United, you know, had instructed scouts, you know, to keep a close eye out on you know, that Benfica winner. Reportedly, he's got a buyout clause of around £105 million. This Felix. He's yet to make his Portugal senior debut, but reportedly, since he's broke into the Benfica first team, Felix's performances have been very, very impressive indeed. He can play in other positions, but I do think he's mainly a right winger. He's mainly a right winner, is this Felix. And I think Liverpool had put around the £61 million bid in for him in January, but reportedly this had been turned down. But it did say a few teams had actually been interested in him. Also, too, we know that we've been hearing news about Tango Ndombele. His name has also been mentioned in the media as well. You know, that Lyon midfielder. It's also said that actually Manchester City have also been interested in Tango Ndombele as well. He's very, very young, as I said. He's 22. He's tenacious. He's a very, very good competitive midfielder. He's a Lyon player, as I said, and reportedly his performances for Lyon have been very, very impressive indeed. But reportedly, it does say that reportedly he said that Man United have made contact, so Man United have approached, you know, Tango Ndombele's representatives about maybe Manchester United, you know, making a move for him in the summer. Obviously, Lyon had him on loan for 1 year. They paid £2 million to get him on loan for 1 season, and then obviously, you know, this season, obviously Lyon, you know, I think made the deal permanent by paying around £8 million, you know, to make the deal permanent. You know, obviously 200 in terms of wages. I think there was an extra 250,000 in bonuses or something like that. I'm not too sure, but it's something like that anywhere. But Manchester City, it's also said City have been interested in him. It also said, you know, that of course Juventus have also been interested in Tango Ndombele as well. So reportedly Manchester United have made contact over getting Tango Ndombele, as I said. But we know we've been linked, you know, with a host of central defenders, because we know we're all adamant, you know, a lot of Manchester United fans, we're all adamant that we do need a strong central defender in the team, as we all currently know. You know, we need, you know, Koulibaly is obviously the number one, as I've already give you an update on, and he'd be a fantastic player for Manchester United. In his number of years at Napoli, he's grown and developed, and he's, you know, done very, very well. He's done very, very well. You know, he's under contract with Napoli till 2023. And he's 27 years of age. I think he's tall as well. He's about 6'5". He's Koulibaly, as I said. But obviously, I think he's our major target, you know, to go and get in the summer. He's Koulibaly. After we attempted 3 bids, 3 of them bids have been turned down. You know, the reason one was 95 million. Manchester United, of course, you know, were in discussions in the past couple of windows, you know, to get Koulibaly on the board. But we failed because Napoli weren't willing to do any business throughout the January window. But obviously, I think think he's keen on joining Manchester United in the summer, as I said, and it would be good for him, you know, to experience the Premier League. It'd definitely address our defensive deficiencies, you know, without a doubt, would Koulibaly. But I think he's the major target, you know, for Manchester United, you know, to go for in the summer. Obviously, we know other names have been thrown out in the hat as well, you know, who we've, you know, been, you know, who we're linked with, you know, to get in our central defensive position. We know Skriniar's been mentioned, Harry Maguire's been mentioned before, Toby Alderweireld's been mentioned, as I said. So there's been a lot of names, you know, being mentioned, as I said. But I'm hopeful that we can get some signings in the summer. So potentially, if I think we do get some signs in the summer, I think potentially Manchester United can be up for the title next season, in my opinion. I think Manchester United can be up for the title next season if maybe we get 2 or 3 players in the club, as I currently said, because we have invested a lot of money. Obviously, we didn't invest throughout the January transfer window because we didn't make any signings throughout the January transfer window. But I praise Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. You know, I praise him so much. He's done a really, really good job, and I think he can take this team forward. He can elevate this team forward, and he can get us in that commanding position, you know, where we currently want to be. And I have all my faith in him. I have trustworthy in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as well, and I think he can command us in that position, you know, where we do currently want to be. And his progression so far has been fantastic, and he deserves, you know, to get the job on a full-time basis. Does Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Of course, he's got us in the top 4 as well, which is good news, and I think he should get the job on a full-time basis. We'd have to pay just around 7.5 million, you know, to get him on a full-time basis at Manchester United. So we'd have to pay him all about 7.5 million. But why would we want to hire Pochettino in when it would cost us around at least £40 million, you know, to hire Pochettino in? I don't want Pochettino at Manchester United. As we all know, he's been number 1, you know, for quite a while. He's been Ed Woodward's number 1 choice. But I think Ed Woodward, you know, is thinking twice now. He's thinking, hold on, Solskjaer's the right man for the job. You know, we're getting the results. We're performing very, very well. So I think, you know, Ed Woodward and the board have now, you know, decided, you know, to give Solskjaer the job on a full-time basis, which I think is definitely the right decision, you know, from Manchester United, you know, perspective. It is definitely, you know, the right, you know, decision. Pochettino's not proven in terms of winning silverware. He's never won any silverware as Pochettino. I think he's done a good job at Tottenham, don't get me wrong. He's got a good record at Tottenham. He had a good record when he was at Southampton, and he's, you know, obviously been managing since 2009. He's got a lot of experience in the Premier League, and his attacking philosophy is good as Pochettino's, don't get me wrong, but he hasn't won out in terms of silverware, and he won't leave Tottenham anywhere, will Pochettino. But Solskjaer's proven, he's won trophies, as I said, he's got that attacking philosophy, as I said, and he's got the team playing in the right vein, in the right manner, and he's got us playing the brand of football, you know, that we used to play under Alex Ferguson, you know, for 26, 27 years, as I said, which is very, very good indeed. But going into this PSG game, as I said, we've got some good news going into the game. Solskjaer will be obviously rotating the squad. As I said, it's tomorrow night, 8 o'clock kick-off, as I said, and it's at home is the first leg as well. I think the second leg's on the 6th of March, is it, at Paris Saint-Germain? But it's going to be an interesting game. PSG have got some good players, as I said. I think it'll be a tight game, to be quite honest with you know, but the form we're in at the moment. But PSG are a good side as well, but obviously they've got injuries going into the game as well. Neymar's definitely out. Cavani looks an absolute major doubt, so it's unlikely he's going to be featuring. You know, Thomas Meunier, it's unlikely he's going to be featuring as well. Verratti, I do like Verratti as well. He's good in that midfield, is Verratti. He's a player I'd love at Manchester United, you know, Marco Verratti. I do think he's good. He suffered an ankle injury most recent. I think he's just recently recovered from that injury as well as Marco Verratti. But I think Cavani's injury is a thigh injury or something like that, I think it is a thigh injury he's suffered, Edinson Cavani. So obviously we know it's looking like it's not guaranteed he's out, but he's definitely a major doubt. And as Thomas Tuchel, you know, does have concerns over, you know, Edinson Cavani, that he's worried that he's going to miss the game tomorrow, and it's looking likely Edinson Cavani is going to miss that game tomorrow, as I said. But yeah, I'm confident that Man United are going to get the win because we're in great form. We're 11 games unbeaten under Solskjaer, as I currently said. We've only dropped 2 points in the process, and that was obviously at home to Burnley the other week. But as Solskjaer, you know, as I said, you know, was watching, as I forgot to mention as well, he was watching, you know, PSG in action the other week against Lyon. So obviously Solskjaer was obviously sussing the way out, PSG play, their system and stuff like that. Obviously, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was sussing out, and obviously he was at the Manchester City Chelsea game yesterday, because in a way, Manchester City absolutely trounced Chelsea by 6-0. Obviously Manchester City, did us a massive favour, because obviously now we still remain in the top 4, and I think it's definitely been City and Liverpool this season, for the Premier League. Tottenham are still in there with a shout, don't get me wrong, but probably people may favour Manchester City now to win it, because obviously City have got the experience of winning the league. Liverpool haven't won a major honour since 2006. They haven't won a major honour for 13 years now, is it, Liverpool? Obviously they haven't won the Premier League since it got founded in 1903, was it? They haven't won it all in all for 28 years there, don't forget as well. But Klopp's invested in the last couple of seasons, as we all know. But in terms of Pep Guardiola and Klopp, Pep Guardiola's got that winning pedigree. As I said, he's got that winning pedigree. He's got that winning project. Klopp hasn't. He's had a bit of experience of winning a couple of titles, when he was managing Borussia Dortmund, where Jurgen Klopp, as I said. But as I said, I just don't think he's nowhere near on the same levels as Pep Guardiola as Jurgen Klopp. But yeah, it could go to the last couple of games. It even could go to the last game of when the current titles are decided. As I said. So yeah, Manchester United, I hope we can win tomorrow, as I said, against Paris Saint-Germain. I have all the faith in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and I'm glad that I've heard that news today, that reportedly Solskjaer will get the job on a full-time basis at Manchester United. Probably won't be officially announced until the end of the season, but of course, Manchester United are going to obviously pay him all an additional fee. We've obviously paid them a fee at the moment, to get him on a temporary basis, but we're going to pay an extra fee, to, make him, Manchester United manager permanently, as I currently said. So anyway, Joby. So anyway, as I said, drop your comments, like below on the channel. Some more news is just updated. Wait there. Let's have a look before. Just look at this news. It's just updated now that Young has officially signed a year extension with Manchester United. So that has just been officially confirmed as well. Before I do currently go. So anyway, drop your comments, like below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribing, and take care. God bless you all again very soon.